right, let's say hi to YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Nick.
Don't y'all forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell.
Tell your friends.
38, 34, that area right there.
Come on,
Gonna
give it
have
to
to
us.
close above it. It's not. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Lots of them right there. Inverted hammer so far.
That's a dirty chart. Check out my
Nasty
dirty chart.
Chart nasty.
I mean, we do have potential to run bullish here. There is an angular here that we're riding right on. I'm still a little biased by this is nothing more than another relief rally in a bear market, but we are right in about the middle of the minutia here. We came right down to that 50% retracement with a wick yesterday. If you look at yesterday's daily candle, big old hammer. And it came right to the 50% of this trend. So we're kind of in limbo here. And it'll either break one way or another, but the bias is a little bit more bearish than bullish.
God, I thought that was a spinner from yesterday, but you're right. It's just this side of hammer.
It's a big old red hammer.
We have any more econ coming out? Nope. That's
That I
it.
know of.
Not till 1 p.m. when you get the rig count.
Everything kind of biases a little bit more bearish than bullish unless it bounces off this and turns this into a double bottom on a 15. At which point this is your key support here. We are at it, baby. Right at the end of that wedge. This will be interesting.
I mean, have you seen this pattern before? This close to Christmas?
They have the old, they call it the Santa rally that everybody expects, a big run up right before Christmas, and then this year I don't see it because, like I said, economically there's a lot of people hurting out there.
Yep.
And I don't think that Q4 sales were what they were projecting to be. I think they're a little light.
Same sort. The new Avatar came out, and it was like 140 million short of breaking even.
Yeah.
And that alone kind of says it. This close to Christmas, everybody goes out to see movies.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of a bad deal. But I mean, those of us who pay attention to the market, we knew what was going to happen with inflation. We knew a lot about what we could expect. And here we are, living the dream.
Please don't slap me to wake me up.
Right. It's like last month my gas bill was like $86 or something like that. This month it's on track to be over $200. It's insane.
Wow.
That's why I'm adamant about building this coal stove. Like, oh, you want to push that?
If the electric cars can do it, so can we.
You want to make me pay more for fuel for your Green New Deal? All right, I'll switch to coal. You suck soot.
That's it, man.
I can go down and buy that by the ton. Minimum 2-ton purchase, and I got plenty of ways to get it here.
Yeah, what do you got to do to get 2 tons of coal to your house?
I just go down to the equipment rental place and rent a 2-ton dump trailer. Haul it down there, fill it up, and haul it back.
I got the black lung pop.
Well, that's for bituminous coal. I use anthracite, which is much cleaner.
Well, that's good.
Has more BTU. Compared to burning firewood, it only puts out about 20% of the carbon monoxide that firewood does. That's what they call
Nice.
clean coal. But it's also the more expensive coal, so they don't use it to fire, power plants and whatnot.
What is it for 2 tons of that, generally?
Right now it's running about $160 a ton for good anthracite, high grade stuff. You can get it for $120 if you're willing to have some impurities in it.
And how long can that last you?
I can get 25 cents worth of it to burn for about 30 hours straight without messing with it.
That'll keep you nice and warm.
Oh yeah. And it puts out some heat, boy.
What are you doing? Are you planning on doing like a Benjamin Franklin?
I built the firebox for proof of concept because I wanted to kind of modify the column in it until I could get the right burn rate. And then I'm going to build a 1/4 inch thick plate steel version of it with a sintered iron burner grate. And then I'm going to adapt the flue in my chimney to accept the exhaust so it doesn't draft all my heat up the chimney. And
Yeah.
then I'm going to wrap it with a blower duct so it blows the air around it and takes the heat into the house. I could just go and buy a coal furnace for like $3,000 and install it and do it that way, but
That's not the way you do things, Jay.
no. And I'm pretty sure the exhaust tube coming out the side of that garage would be a little bit frowned upon by the folks in the HOA. So
Yeah, and you'd probably go and buy it, and you'd be like, shoot, I could have done this better myself.
yeah. But for now, it's just a concept. I got the little burner box, and man, that thing puts out some serious heat. It glows cherry red for like 9 hours straight, and then it cools off a little bit and still is like almost glowing.
That's dope, man. Send me a picture of that whenever.
Yeah, I think I put it in the chat before.
What, in the options chat?
Yeah, I'll throw it in there.
Let's see where we go right here. Hit right below a pivot, aren't we? Right at a pivot.
I mean, there's some nice scalps in there.
Yeah, got one a minute ago. That's what I was looking at right there.
Here's my firebox concept right here. Boop. And then I'm going to pipe it right to that air inlet on the back of the chimney there. So that'll be its air inlet, so it doesn't consume any house air.
Yeah, I see that.
That thing, like standing this close to get that picture of it was very difficult.
I can see that it's cherry red, bro.
I have to stand back about 6 feet if I'm going to stand in front of it for more than a few minutes. 6 feet is about as close as you can get. Otherwise, you start feeling your pants burned to your skin.
If you're using anything that's like, synthetic, it lights on fire.
Right. Yeah, it gets hot.
Yeah, I mean, that looks like it's about, probably, it looks like it's hotter than a propane heater.
Oh, yeah. Way, way hotter.
And then what, you got a release you got an exhaust vent at the back to release up the...
Yeah, it's got a stack that goes out the back under that upper plate.
Uh-huh.
So it drafts to the rear, but the heat puts out through the front.
You're at that angular resistance.
Yep. And
Oh,
then
that wedge.
work it,
Just
and we're
work
going
it.
right up to the next control bar, which is about 80,
That's your
65.
bottom right there. 43, 44. We're going up to the 45 area right now. That's the next one. It's going to hit that 38, 45. And I did get a couple of scalps.
Nice.
25 on one. What's the other one? 27.50 on the other one.
I don't know about you guys, but that looks like range to me.
Oh, tweezer top. Hell yes. We're not going to make that
Look
pivot.
out. Look out. Right at a pivot, too, on the SPY. That 379.75. Next pivot's 381.27 above that I have, which is a kind of a small range, as Devin was saying.
Up, down, and sideways. Ain't that right, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But we are also at VWAP, and it's looks like it's trying to hold VWAP there, Jeremy, at that pivot too, on the 1 minute. See it?
You know, I haven't used VWAP in forever.
Oh yeah, it's at the VWAP, and the 8 are touching. They're kissing.
Oh yeah, right there.
Now, for it to really be bullish, you want to see price above VWAP, and you want to see VWAP above the 200. That's usually when it's really bullish.
Yeah, we're starting to peak out on momentum indicator right here too. So, as Sig just put in the chat there, we're pinging off of this. Let me check out Pam real quick. Is that the same one? Pampa engine? Yeah, okay. Well, it's on a nice breakout, but if you bought it at 52, that's a little bit higher than I would like to buy it. Is it optionable? It's heading for a retracement to about 38. I don't know about 52. Let me go look at the options chain on that real quick. See if I can get that thing to go. Why did it jump to AAL? And where is my options quote? I have to add a widget. There we go. Whoops, wrong one. Having troubles here. There we go. Now I can collapse it a little bit so I can overlay it. Yeah, those are not going to have a lot of options liquidity. No one's buying. Yeah, like whenever I go, if I'm going to go and invest in something for more than, a few months, the first thing I look at is if it's optionable. And if it's not, like I know that I'm not going to have an easy time keeping my cost basis down by selling covered calls on it. So, it's optionable, but it's like there's not a lot of liquidity here. In fact, that open interest is probably nil. Yeah, 3 of them. Yes. Not a lot of people writing contracts on that one, so it's not very liquid for options.
There's the break. Broke the wedge.
Finally went to that pivot. Damned.
Yep. Went right down, right to that next pivot. What was that? Whatever it was I called that earlier.
So yeah,
No, it didn't. That's 381.27. Sorry, that's the next pivot I had on SPY.
Let's see, is Ironclad invoice?
We're coming to
No.
1 minute 200 again. It looks like it wants to break out above it. Let's see. All right, breaking the. Damn. Damn.
We went right to.
Dude, I'm going to show you something. This is exactly what I'm talking about on those in-betweens. Son of a beyond.
Did you miss one?
Yeah, I missed one because I had to go to the bathroom twice.
Oh, oops.
But that's okay. It's okay. I'm going to show you.
Well, I mean, we're right back to a 50% retracement here, but
Yeah, yeah. But the in-between from when we had those 3 candles take off from
Oh,
this
right.
morning,
right.
you put a line between the top 2 green candles, 2 1-minute candles. Just lay a line on it, a price line or something, and look at what happens to the right.
Oh, yeah.
You see it? Pop, pop. It hit it twice, and then it broke through it the 3rd time.
Yep.
See that?
Now we're in range. We're out.
Actually, sorry, it's the wrong in between. It does that one too. It's the bottom one. It's the one between that red candle at 9:34, and then that red candle at 9:35. Remember, I said I called that a micro pullback.
Right.
That was the one. It was the bottom of those two. I'll show you. I love that I see it, but I miss it. It's gonna be
all right,
noisy.
man. Like you always say, you're just happy you got to see it.
I
Right.
got the happy. That's right. Because, well, this is what I'm basically doing is I'm using the chart right here, not looking everywhere. I have everywhere on my chart, but then I'm using the immediate chart. What's going on with price action? Where those levels are to find the areas that I need to pay attention to. And so I'm going to highlight this one a little, just to show you. And I get excited about it because it's not like you hear anybody teaching this stuff.
No,
And
no.
I'm just observing everything I'm learning. I just observe. This is all from a year and a half of watching that stuff move and trying different strategies and finding my penny stock strategies are my best.
That seed time gives you a different perspective on pretty much everything you look at, and when you start to develop systems that work for you, you've got an edge.
Right. So I'm going to show you on this chart. And if you're not in voice, then you're not going to understand all this stuff I'm throwing out. So there's the chart, and I drew the little arrow to the in between after we had that push up and that pull back, and you'll see we hit it once, twice, thrice, came back down, and then this is where we are now. And when I know that there's an area like that I need to pay attention to, then I pay attention to it, and I can relax and say, okay, it also creates a little range. You could have got to the top of it, went back down to where it started, which was that 38.25 area on the MES. And this was yesterday. I saw this too. It's like, oh yeah, there's your range. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
And my style is a little different. It's because I think differently, and I'm not a fast person. I've got learning disabilities I've had to overcome. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I've had to overcome a lot of shit in my life. Oops, sorry, a lot of stuff in my life, and so I have to find a method that works for me, and I have found one. And yesterday I sent the detailed drawing to Jeremy, and I'm going to make a video off of that drawing.
It's funny.
Explaining this system.
I do a lot of reading about a lot of different things, and neurology's always fascinated me. And like whenever you have like people with a brain injury, like the brain tends to rewire itself around the injury and just thrive to function. When you develop systems that work for you, you're kind of doing the same things. You're wiring around a problem and overcoming an obstacle, whether it's a learning disability or ADHD or whatever. over time, you tend to develop ways to work around it. In some cases, you develop ways to make it work for you. So that's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it is very cool the way the brain works on that.
Yeah, it is cool. And I'm excited because I see that everywhere now. And when I find the right ones, I know the right ones to look for. I'm like, oh yeah, you draw that line there, draw that box there,
Right.
and then I watch, and then you can plan your trade to actually take a position right above that box. If you're looking at your pivots and everything, I got a bunch of stuff on that chart. So I use all that stuff, and that chart I put up there. I don't always, put up all my charts, but I have Chart Nasty. But because TOS lets me do different drawing sets now, I don't have to have everything on one chart. So the 4-screen grid works even better.
Right. I love that 4-screen grid where you can just time everything.
Really quick, something interesting on neurology. I know a girl back in New Mexico. She has one
neurotic.
side of her head, the carotid artery doesn't get up into her brain, so the other side is doing double duty. She actually shouldn't even be alive, but she's thriving, and I think she's in her early 30s now.
Life finds a way.
Life will find a way.
Yeah, I keep telling my legs that stuff too.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm serious. I'm not kidding.
No,
Now, I'm older. I knew a guy who had a motorcycle accident when he was younger, in his teens, and his daddy rehabilitated him. They told him his joint would never work again, and his daddy made him walk on it every day through pain and everything. That joint grew back.
Wow.
Oh, yep.
It can happen.
I don't know if the joint grew back, but he didn't listen to the doctors, and he said, no, I know enough. I'm an old farm boy.
Yeah, walk it off.
And he had his kid walking every day in pain and everything, and after about a year, the pain started going away.
That's amazing. Life finds a way. Yeah, it's I was gonna also, go right back to that boron supplement, man. That helps you recover like you wouldn't believe. I've had like when I was still turning wrenches, like drop something on my foot or smash my elbow on something or whatever. Ordinarily, it would take a good couple of days for the pain to subside, and with boron, it's like within hours. And same for like further injuries, like when you throw your back out or you pull a muscle or something. It recovers in a day or two rather than a week.
196 would be your next hit.
And you've got the rising channel marked out on both the 1 minute and the 5-second chart here. And I'm expecting a break over and a return.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's about
a return back down, right?
Yeah, 379.90 would be the 50%.
Yeah.
The 50% retracement.
I'm looking at that red hammer on the 5, and I'm going, I don't know. Let's see. Sometimes, a lot of times they don't even they don't break past it, but sometimes they do.
And sometimes these channels will just continue to go parabolic.
Just push up and just do stuff that they want to do.
And the descending wedge had that bearish bias with the bearish bat, but then it broke resistance, came off the regression line, and skied on out. It did what a descending wedge normally does.
Right. Sorry.
In spite of the being bearish on a 5-second chart. That's why it's important to have multiple time frames. You can kind of get a much better understanding of what to expect for price action. Yesterday's price action was easy. I mean, I was on a roll. Today it's a little more complex, it's a little more challenging, but it's still tradable.
Look at it now. Let's see. Gotta wait for it. I got that. I got in right before that push.
We'll either get a 5-minute bar all the way up to the Globex high, like 383, or we will break over right here.
I mean, 2-point scalp on 2 contracts is pretty dang good.
Right? And that
I've
that
gotten
adds
several.
up,
I've
man.
gotten. That's why I look for certain setups, and then I'm using that strategy of buying above, a tick above a high, or a tick above a close of a candle, and then you got to set your stop down below, and it works. And then I set my order where I want to get out, just like I used to do in penny stocks.
Yep.
Saying I don't know why I ever left that. It's like, oh, this works.
You just know. I mean, it's just like
Yeah, I don't set a bracket. I set a bracket order, but it's a manual bracket order.
it's like you get your teeth cut in penny stock trading, and you've learned the hard way. We've said that over and over and over again. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
the hard way, but what you gain from it is it makes everything else easy. So
Mm-hmm.
then when you've got that experience, you go and you trade the ES, you go and trade SPY, you go and trade large caps and stuff, and then you come back and look at a penny stock, and the penny stocks are easy. It's like I know exactly what to do here. I know exactly what that's going to do. And you don't want to get a big head and get all cocky about it, but penny stocks are simple when you come back to them. And that's why I would when I was starting out here, I was streaming like one day a week. They had me in large caps at first, and I was basically just doing what I do now, trading price action on pretty much anything that was a large cap that was popular for the day for whatever was trading, and just easily plopping out all the price action, and that's around the time I was starting to short Disney and all that stuff, and then they asked if I wouldn't mind doing the penny stock. I'm like, okay. So I go back to the penny stocks. I'm like, oh, this is gravy. And that's when you caught on. And you're like, how the hell are you doing that?
I
Well, the thing-
remember that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I would ask you questions, and I would re-ask you questions, and we were doing everything differently back then.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I'm going to admit to it right now. I would ask Jeremy questions because I knew he would answer them, and I'd ask him, and I'd look at where we were in the regular trading hours time,
Mm-hmm.
and then when the replay would come out, I'd go get the replay, and I'd go to where I asked him my question. I'd write it down, and I'd scrub fast to where I asked that question, and I'd go listen to the answer several times.
You had the cheat sheet out.
Well, listen, all's fair in love and war. You have to understand there are rules and parameters, but
Yes.
if stock goes up, down, or sideways, that's the main rule, right? So everything else is fair game. It's finding something in there that works. That's all, and then grabbing a hold of it.
Ooh,
All right, now
we could get a measured
Now.
move here.
we could get a nice measured move here. Let's see. I want to buy.
We
Right
might
there.
get a 30-point move. Remember when I set this range?
Yeah.
384.
Yeah.
It's stacking.
Yeah.
Got to break this pivot, and it's game on, baby. 20 points.
Well, it's broken angular resistance again, because we were starting to get another tap, if you will,
Hey, Jeremy, you got a
and
the
closed
1
above
minute,
it.
You got a megaphone pattern opening up on the 1
Yeah, on
right there in the last 10 minutes.
It's the third tap
yeah,
on the 1 minute. You see that?
yep, and we can see it here on the 5-second.
Yep, there it is.
Well, and you mentioned penny stocks, and as we're sitting here watching this thing, this is going to be it right here. Let's see.
There's your crashing line.
Yeah, but trading penny stocks as a starter is kind of like playing GoldenEye with slappers only for the first time.
Yep. I used to love that game.
Yeah, me too.
That's probably the best early first-person shooter ever.
Oh yeah, absolutely, without a doubt, man.
That game was epic, and then paintball mode was fun too.
53.
Did you ever? I don't remember if I asked you this. Did you ever curve the rockets?
I
If
don't
you
remember
use
if I
the
did or
strafe,
not.
if you use the strafe button at the same time that you fired off the rocket, it would curve.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We used to get to go around corners.
Yeah, yeah.
That was kind of
Heavy
fun.
push. Watch it now.
All right, we'll first get a measured move from A to B. So regression to resistance. If this breaks out, let's count it. We got what 381.50 to 382. So a 50-cent move outside the channel takes us to 382.50 pretty readily. And it also takes us right up to that rising channel regression line. But if it fails here, watch it come back to either angular support on the channel or the megaphone regression line. Man, it'd be cool to see a 384.50 move, but
Yeah, it's fighting here. You got those dang wicks up top.
the angulars are saying maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
Green hammer, spinner.
You're also at the low of the week of 12-12-22. That's where those two 5-minute hammers basically hammered onto.
Right. Right. 12-12.
Look out.
We're still right up against the angular resistance from this descending channel.
Yep.
And that's just the extension from our diamond. The dirty diamond, I'm going to call it. Which
Diamond
doesn't
J
owe us
says
any more bearishness unless it rechecks
dirty
in this
diamond.
channel. I mean, it made its full move right down to that 375 and slightly below it yesterday. It went to 374.77. We knew 375 was a good target.
Needs to push up a little higher if it's going to do something here.
So there's one other thing to look at here, and it's kind of interesting. We got the megaphone pattern here. Let me make that stand out a little better. So you got your megaphone inside of a channel, and it's holding the angular on the channel too. This is coming to a point right here. So this will either break for your measured move. This is where you get 2 legs measured move already done. It's where you build into a third measured move leg, which would take us to about 382.50. And that's where we came up with the measured move outside of the megaphone pattern. And if it accumulates there for a double, where we get this is one leg, this is our accumulation, a whole second leg would be 384.50. At any point, a measured move can break over and retrace. And if we do, it's going to be pretty volatile. If selling takes over here, they'll run it right down.
We are above well, we're still above the 8, but not much here.
And that's exactly it. Sig has it right. I can't argue, or I can argue that it should not have done that, but Price said, hold my beer.
Price going to do what Price going to do.
Watch me, mofo. This isn't a great trading day, but we will get a good setup out of this, at least one. And it's getting really close. As soon as it ends this wedge, I think we're going to have a break. And that's a pennant in itself, so.
So what I'm hearing you say is something's about to happen.
Something's about to happen. We just don't know what, but it'll be volatile. We've accumulated. The fight got tighter and tighter and tighter. Eventually, somebody wins. Here it comes. Sometimes these will pop a bar and fake and then rip the other way too, so be aware of that.
Oh, they love doing that.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're good at it.
It's so dirty. It's like, what? Gotcha.
They'll get you to chase and then they'll rip it out of you.
Yep.
But we know where all of the angulars are, so we know what's expected. A to B, B to C. It's pretty much just plotting points on a map.
Angulars and price ladders.
That's right. Momentum just broke into bearish divergence on the 5-second chart, but then it bounced out. And if you look here, we're kind of pegged on the 1 minute. And we're just about pegged on the 5 minute. So if something's going to happen, it'll happen right around here.
There goes the 5-second.
Yep. Right into that angular. That's our
But
megaphone.
Is it faking you out? That's the question.
Well, like I said, a measured move's 382.50.
Yep.
We've already accumulated there.
Yeah.
So now we've extended to 383. This is the regression line.
That was great. Thank you. I scalped it
Wow.
again.
I actually got
I actually swung that one a little bit because it kind of came back on me. But I saw, I have levels like I had 38, 66, 50. Where are we right now? And how do I have that level? It's because I'm a bullish bear and I watch bullish bear stuff. And I learned to put those levels on watching SIG's warning briefings.
Bullish bear, don't
I'm
care.
gonna have to buy Sig and Jeremy. Start off, have to buy Lucian 1 too. I have to buy all you guys cigars. Casper too. I've had like 3 or 4 scalps in a row. Educated scalps with targets to get out of, and I've hit every one of them.
I had to mute for a second. My dog went nuts.
It's okay. I'm
Your
just
dog
really
is-
happy about stuff. See, here, what I was seeing there is I was seeing a strong bullish move. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles, including this 5-minute candle right now. And the only red candle is a red hammer that hammered into the low of week 12-12. I'm approaching it differently, right? And so I saw that and I went, we're going up. So I bought above that candle. And I got a scalp because it closed again as a doji, and I went, I don't like that. And then I bought above the break. I bought above that doji, and then I took a scalp. And then I bought above that big green candle, and I took a scalp. So my entries are now pretty much the rather than like in the penny stock room, I have a strategy for that where I buy red candles. But this is different. I'm taking a page out of Al Brooks's teachings, and the one that we have there on the website. Anyway, good stuff. And look, we have another V bottom.
Went right to that pre-market body, that control candle. That was this guy right here, 845.
Yep. You see the V bottom we got on the 5-minute chart?
Yeah.
Looks a lot like that V bottom we had yesterday on the 30-minute chart.
Yep. Nice hammer at the bottom, everything.
Mm-hmm. If anybody's listening and you're wanting to learn price action, go study those patterns. Anytime you see price move away from a level, look at the pattern that's formed right before it moved away from it.
Morning.
And it'll teach you to look for those reversals. Good morning. I was excited. Can you tell?
He's excited.
We have a pivot at 38.72 on the MES.
So I'm going to try and demonstrate one other thing too when you're trading those debit spreads.
Oh yeah.
If you're trading a 0-day on a small account, like I did yesterday, and you're like, you've already used your last day trade for the week, there's a way to close or take the profit in that trade, although not as much, and lock it in and literally just ride it to the end of the day and let it expire. So if you have something where you're pulling a 430% return like that on a $2 wide spread, you can convert it to a butterfly when you've achieved your price target. You'll end up paying a little bit of your premium that you captured to open the other side of it, but it turns into a butterfly, and you just leave it alone, let it expire. You've got a no-lose trade. So I'm going to start, and that's why I started adding some paragraphs to the article I was writing about the debit spreads.
I'll be right back. Y'all need anything?
Good.
Cup of coffee? Okay. Hot chocolate? Corgan eats hot chocolate.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
hot chocolate. Sorry. We're on the Polar Express.
Are you guys getting bad weather where you guys are at?
Not bad weather, just cold. It was raining all night last night and all morning. Got right
We had
to
we,
34 degrees.
we had a huge snowstorm right now, and they closed all the schools in the state.
Oh my
Basically.
goodness.
Yeah. So it was snow day today.
Where are you?
In Canada.
I'm in the province of Ontario. I'm near Toronto. I'm like 45 minutes away from Toronto.
Oh, I love it up there. That's so beautiful.
It's gorgeous up here, but wintertime is no joke.
Yeah.
No, no joke. That's why you won't catch me up there.
Oh, that's not that bad. Once you get to about 10 below, everything feels the same.
Yes, but it's
It's
the
true.
snow that gets me.
Yeah. It's a lot of work, that snow.
So how much snow are you supposed to be getting? Carter?
Up to 40 centimeters.
Yep, that's going to be a bit of work.
Yeah, at least it's light and fluffy snow.
Yeah, I don't know if it is. I haven't been outside yet.
Yeah, I hope it's light and fluffy. Do you have a big water bed near you?
Yes, we're literally by a lake.
Oh, you're going to get dumped on.
Yeah, I just woke up and I looked outside of my window and it's like covered in snow. I don't really want to go out there right now.
Just hang out here with us, man.
There you go. Come on.
What do you think, Jeremy? Is that a breakover?
I think that's a breakover. $3. Come on, open. That's candle 9. We're back to the 8 period on the 1 minute chart there. 5 minute chart there. Sorry.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm dancing, bro. I'm so excited. I'm
I
about to
stuck with
bust.
the MES last night and I did very good.
Nice.
Good. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, I was just riding the waves yesterday and it was awesome.
Dude, yesterday's price action was glorious, dude.
Ooh,
I
we just wicked in the angle.
really
There was
enjoyed that. Yeah. Go, baby, go.
Go, baby, go.
So I was saying you can take a debit spread, and if you're in a small account and you're out of day trades, you can convert it to a butterfly. So like, let's say, like yesterday when I bought that $2 wide, when I was sitting at a 433% profit zone, I could have just as easily, instead of closing that trade, I could have opened it as a butterfly by selling one more short leg and then buying the second strike below that short leg. So I'd end up paying a little bit of the premium that I've locked in on the debit spread. And that would be the profit I get to keep in that situation, and it turns it into a can't lose trade. And when you let it expire, it doesn't count as a day trade because all the options end up exercised or you get called. Exercising an option does not count as a day trade. Being assigned on an option does not count as a day trade, even if you sold it the same day.
Teach us some wonderful things.
So I'm going to modify that strategy. When you get days where you got lots of really big price action like we did yesterday, that's a worthwhile strategy, but you've got to have some serious range to make that happen.
Right.
Dang it, my spread didn't open. I don't want to go to 4. I'll have to move it one leg down.
I'm really excited because I have been working on this strategy for a long time since everything shifted in options, and I had to kind of revamp everything I do since I was learning options.
Right.
I'm real excited. I'm real excited, Jeremy.
Glad to hear you in good spirits, man.
I am. I have worked this thing out, and I'm to a point now where I can even explain it better.
Yeah, good
So-
for you, man.
Don't
Oh, it's
forget to
gonna be
breathe.
good for all of us. I'm gonna teach all of us. Anybody who wants to learn it can learn it.
Good for all of us.
Yes, sir.
It's good for the goose. It's good for the gander.
That's right.
Rising tide does
Woo.
what?
Raises
Lifts
all ships.
all boats. All right, got another megaphone on the top here.
We just we do, and we just wicked into that 38 or 381.27-ish area. Is that it? Let me get my levels again. That's that pivot I've been talking about, 381.27. So we just wicked into that, which is also at another level of 381.23, which is, by the way, one of those in-betweens
Right.
from somewhere.
Some guy was talking about those.
Yeah, no, it is. It's amazing. Yeah. Oh, I love it.
No. Sorry, I got too
Because-
many lines to draw. There we go.
I say I learned. This is going back to my penny stocks days, and the penny stock thing. The thing about the penny stocks was, you know, you're looking at the chart on one day after something has popped up, you know, after being a dead cat or just being dormant for 6 months, and so you have to go find those levels. But the cool thing about the MES, the ES, is that I don't have to. I can mark those levels and I can keep them. And but the thing is that I learned how to do, and I've said this before, is trade the chart of the day, so that I can find everything. This is going to sound weird, but I can find everything I need on the chart that day, and without having to do a whole lot of going back, looking this way, and so that's what I've been working on is this strategy, and it's working, especially now that I've gone back to my penny stock ways of scalping it quick, and we just broke through that level.
Yep. I got
And it's
the
gonna
spread
test-
open, but not the one I wanted.
It's going to test those guys to the left right now. That 50% retracement would be about what, 380.81, right where the 200 is.
That and we've got the angular support from the megaphone right there on the 5-second chart.
There you go. And we had those touches already on those flags going up.
And our retrace target, yeah, right there at 380.65. And
Cool.
if we go a full 50%, the bears can run it down all the way down here to 379.90.
Love it.
Once they start selling, man, they smell blood. They come a running like sharks. Well, sharks don't run, they swim, but you know.
I know what you mean.
Land sharks run. Sorry.
Yeah, true.
Land
And if
shark.
sharks had legs, we'd all be dead.
They do. They're called market makers.
Hey, Nikki, that looks a little chilly out there. I wanted to do this for the longest time when I lived in Montana. I wanted to get a like an RC turbine engine and turn it into a snowblower, but where the exhaust heat would just melt the snow and blow it away at the same time. That'd be cool. It's cool to watch, a jet engine start when there's a few inches of snow on the ramp, and just watch it all roll up and blow away. And then the spot where the jet blast is like completely dry.
Wow, yeah, that does sound cool, man. What did you see that with like the private jets?
Yeah. Oh, and the commercial ones too. Like you get a 737 start up, their engines are really low to the ground, and if there's any snow on the ramp, it just rolls it up and blows it away like a good 120 feet, just idling.
Cool.
It's like an RC jet. You're not putting out nearly that much thrust, but it's enough to clear a sidewalk.
On the 5 minute, we're wicking into the moving average.
Yeah.
My single moving average guy.
Yeah, we've got a little mini double bottom right on that angular support from that megaphone pattern on a 5-second chart here.
Retesting a 9 o'clock control bar on the 5 minute. Right now we're retesting the open of that. We are still above the median of the 15-minute opening range.
Snapped R1 at 381.20, and target 1 met 381.34. This control bar right here.
I get chatty. You have to shut me down sometimes.
Oh no, I was just waiting for you to finish.
I got to remember you're on YouTube.
Not to worry. This is what a community does, man. We communicate. We take turns talking. All good.
But now on a 2-hour chart, we got Doji City, brah.
Yeah.
You notice that? It's Doji City.
Hey, let me turn off the drawing so you can see them. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dojis on the 2-hour chart since yesterday.
Yeah. Now the thing though is that those are dojis, but there are trades in there.
Yep.
Lots of trades in that 2-hour.
We got a descending channel.
Okay, so this 5-minute candle is going to close, and the last two 5-minute bear bars have wicks on the bottom.
Dang it.
And they've closed above the moving average. And we've come back down to retest.
I could have drew a wolf wave. Darn it. That's right here.
Man, you can draw some wolf waves, Jack.
There's your wolf wave. Whenever you see a price break over like this, you mark high 1, skip L1, skip H2, and connect the line to L2. So H1, L2, draw a diagonal straight down, and it'll give you your price target.
If this
Here on the bottom, we've got a bullish. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. So discount the bottom. Up. And that's a bullish wolf.
And
There's
the
the
price
wolf.
will react to both of those.
it will. All right,
Didn't
now.
make it.
We'll see what happens here.
I must have missed something. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I got it right. They don't always work, but they give you a good idea. And if we get past this one, we can still shoot for that one.
I mean, it is a crayon,
Yep,
not
this is
a
grand.
fine tip pen.
On the 1-minute chart, we did get a red hammer into the 200.
Hey, Jeremy, that top-down wolf wave actually became your center point for that price action right there.
Yep. And we're starting to starting to end yet one more megaphone. It's kind of funny, like sometimes you'll see a common pattern over and over and over again, and then it goes away. They get rougher and rougher. Like the diamonds we've had, really clean diamonds leading up to the last diamond top that we had, where it was really dirty, and then you won't see them for a while. And now we're going into megaphones mostly. And a megaphone is literally just half of a diamond. So
Now, do you think that that's a context thing, like times of the year that it tends to happen, or kind of like seasonal?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, it's like you just got to recognize when you see them. They don't always do exactly what you expect them to do either. But when you start to see them in a seasonality format, it doesn't seem to make any sense because some years it'll go and do stuff, some years it won't. Like this year, they were expecting a Santa rally. Well, sure as heck didn't really get a Santa rally. There's your megaphone. There. Trapped under the wolf. And then if this goes into diamond pattern, all we do is mark the angular decline.
Back to the 200. Back to the 200. There.
Boom! Look at that
Yeah,
STB.
there's your 58. There's your 50%
Well, I mean, that's on
retracement complete, right? Down to the 38, 380, 58 area.
I got 380.70, but yeah, close enough.
380.70. Okay. I have a red hammer wick. This is an old chart at 380.58 on the SPY.
The next level, so if we get a full 50% retracement, because remember 50% retracement can sometimes just be a range, but this is your breakover and critical support as well for this pattern based on this control bar. That rolled over, that's the critical support. It snaps that, it usually goes to the next control bar. So like this line is the true 50% from bottom to top here, but it's also the bottom of a control bar, so it's a likely target. If we break here, we go here. So right to 380. Or, sorry, 379.90. All right, well, sorry it's a little bit slow today. I mean, we've had some decent price action, but just...
I just sat here and told you a whole bunch of stuff with my mic off.
Whoops.
I was going to show you. All right, so this area is, if you go to 1015 on the SPY at a 1 minute chart, that green hammer right there is wicking in, its body is in the 8 and the NVWAP, and it's wicking down to my 15. Goes up, we got a nice strong bull bar next after that, and then we got a third strong bull bar at 1017. The in-between of that second and third bull bar, that third bull bar has a micro pullback. That's what I'm calling. If you draw a line there, you'll see that's where prices stopped.
Right. From 1015, you said?
Yeah, if you, yeah.
There, okay.
The 1015 is the first hammer.
Right.
The next two, it's the in-between of the next two candles.
Right, yeah, between these two big guys.
Yeah, and you see that wick comes back down? That's like, if you look at that, that's a micro pullback. I've heard some people call that the first pullback because usually you're looking for a different type of pullback, but that's where price pulled back and it wicked right into that previous candle.
Right.
Now, if it breaks that level, great. To me, that means we're going to go down for a little while.
This is that's a great way to do it too, where you can get all the little technicals and figure out exactly where you expect the wick length to be. But if you want to keep it simple, you can also go with just draw a horizontal line across a point of interest, which is
that's it.
That's a control candle. It's a range candle.
Yeah. That's what I do now. I have I use gray price lines to show me the in between,
And then there's
but I still like my shadow.
also
Hey guys.
hey, morning. You also go
Morning.
back in a little bit further between
Morning.
these, and you've got another line right here.
Yeah, you did sure do, and that's that top of that other flag, right?
Yep, right there.
Yeah, yeah, because those things make a difference too when you're following price. So it broke through that level that I pointed out. So we can expect it to come back down at least to 379.93.
I just scalped it all that way down, and I made very good profits.
I'm very proud of you.
Yes.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Thank you, guys. No, thank you.
Somebody doesn't feel good today.
It was a long night, but yeah,
Oh,
recovering.
there you go.
I'm kind of fighting something too. I don't know what it is.
Well, y'all don't give it to us through Discord.
I take
Well-
my vitamins, man. I'm not worried about that.
I've been in
me,
my
I
crawl
think it's
space multiple times over the last couple of days.
Oh,
'Cause-
yeah.
yeah, and so I think a lot of that just nasty air is kind of irritating me. But I could be catching whatever that kid at the last little early holiday shindig had. He had like a runny nose and was coughing, and so I might be developing it.
For
Get
me,
yourself
it's more
a neti
allergies.
pot. Neti pot.
I'll have to look that up. I don't know what that is.
Oh, get one. You can get it at your local drugstore. It's like a little tea kettle with like a saline solution packet. Now make sure that if you're going to use it, make sure you use like water that you have to buy at the store that's gone through a micron filter, because that way you don't put anything.
Distilled.
Yeah, you got to make sure that that water is clean, but it cleans out your sinuses. It is one of the best things you can do. I promise you, it'll help.
Cool. So Jeremy, I exited my Costco position. I bought it back for just 5 cents, so that was kind of nice. Let me take my mind off the trade today so that I could actually focus on other things. I got another contractor who came out, and we're going to go with them. So instead of spending like 30 grand for foundation repair, encapsulation, and everything, I'm only spending 26. So it's a little bit of a savings, but they're also putting in a drainage system, which no one else was mentioning, because yesterday when I was underneath the house, there was like standing water on the left-hand side of my foundation. So there's nothing there to get rid of it.
Yeah, you need a French drain.
Oh,
Yep.
GF
Yep,
French drain.
I think it's a French drain, yeah, because they said they were going to dig a foot down, lay 3 inches of gravel, put a mesh sealed PVC pipe there, and then they were going to kick it into a sump pump to push it out of the house that they were going to run about 20 feet beyond the house. So that should fix that problem, hopefully. And then they said once the house, everything's fully encapsulated, they'll rip off all the ductwork and all the batting down, and they will, wipe all the surface down, treat it for microbial growth and stuff. So that's gonna be pretty cool, I guess.
It's a lot.
That should help with the breathing air in the home a little bit if there is a problem. I'm not sure that there is, but
Yeah. No, there's all the air you breathe comes from your crawl space.
yeah. And it was interesting. This guy, he quoted not having a permanent jack all through in between every single pier. He's like, there's really no need for that. Like, so the other company was just selling me extra jacks just for the peace of mind.
Yeah.
And but even though that company had like the best engineered solution and it was like stupid expensive, the end of the day, like when I started doing research after we signed the contract, that their workmanship is garbage. Like even their encapsulation and stuff pulls away from the wall. They don't properly like fully seal all the floor space. They don't tape it all down in certain areas if they can't reach it easily. And I was like, dude, for the amount of money you charge, you need to have like the best people, and sometimes the foremen don't even show up. And I was like, I'm not comfortable with this anymore. And so when I called a company last night, like we signed on a Wednesday. So when I called a company last night on Thursday, we managed to get them to come out today, and they showed us their workmanship. We had already done all the Google reviews on them and everything, and it's 5-star across the board on Facebook, Home Advisor, Angie's List, Google reviews, and I'm like, okay. This crew at least does their work really well. And then when we asked people in the neighborhood, like, hey, who's worked with JES? Everyone's like, stay away from JES. Like immediately we got like tons of responses before they got removed off the Buy Nothing Facebook page, because it wasn't actually about like, acquiring an item. It was more about a question about services. But like as soon as that went up, man, everyone's
great due diligence on that. Like, awesome job. Good job saving yourself a lot of pain.
Yeah, I mean
Those
it's
wicks,
no
1 minute on each
small
side.
amount of money. I mean that would have been great money for trading or long-term investing or anything. But you know, the fact that I can at least save $5,000 means that if I have an issue with my siding or my driveway, I can get that addressed later. So that's nice.
It's testing that area of resistance to see if it's going to be support right now.
Where are you guys planning that drop to end on the SPY on the 5-minute?
If it
The
gets
drop, it could end here. I don't know.
let's see, we're about at that 50% retracement, so it's like anywhere between here and 379.90 is about 50%. And if
On
it
the MES, it's come back down to that in between that we talked about before that it broke through. So it looks like it's trying to establish resistance as support right now with
Right.
with those wicks, but it could still break through and come back down. But it's also testing the open as well, so you could see it could still come back down to like 38, 50.
right,
If we
That's
close it open again today, I'm just gonna be like, what is up with the market makers today? Like they really do keep it high and tight. Like, you know, we'll let it run like crazy, and then we're gonna pull it right back to open. Like they did that 2 days in a row.
they get everybody chasing the options that way. That's
All right, I just
okay.
came
That's
in
what spreads
pretty
are
much to
for.
say hi to you guys, but I gotta go slip away for lunch. So good luck with your
Listen,
trades. I'm
good-
doing
good-
nothing today.
Good luck with everything you're dealing with. I know
That's
I'm a homeowner. We're all homeowners here probably, so it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a price tag shock. It's the most
Sure.
expensive thing I've had to do to a home yet, but you know, we've had sinking floors in certain areas and we had cracks in the walls. Nothing that's like a severe, but we just don't want it to get worse.
Right.
And it'll improve the air quality, which will probably help me out because I do have asthma, or at least a history of asthma.
we're
Yeah,
still
good luck with that and happy
Good
holidays.
luck.
yeah,
Happy holidays to you too, guys. I hope you guys all have a wonderful time with your families and everything.
Yeah,
Happy
man, you too.
holidays.
And that's a neti pot.
Likewise.
Just one more time.
Thank you. I'll
There you go.
look into that, especially if things get worse.
Dude, it's so good for your sinuses, I promise you. It cleans them right out.
I've seen it's very uncomfortable, but I'm gonna definitely try it.
It does help.
I mean, it's not horribly uncomfortable. Like, I promise, it's worth at least trying. I tried it. There is a slight bit of discomfort, but the release of pressure from your sinuses totally trumps that.
That's worth it. So we're right back to our wolf wave here on this 5-second chart. This is the third tap on that sucker for if you were to look at it as a descending channel. And it sets up for either a bear flag break to a measured move down, which would put us at about 379.25 first, or it can reverse here and come back and retrace to 380.75 and extension to 380.90. Actually got some price
And
action here.
that's about the 200 for the 380.75.
Yep.
And
there
then
goes.
the top of that control bar to your left.
Bam.
Yeah, look at that
Well,
5-second go.
Look at that.
Nice red.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier, I probably had my mic off.
Right
as I
back
was
to control, and that is the 1
Yeah.
minute 200 period right there too. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so-
I want to hear what you wanted to say earlier with the mic off.
Oh, I was saying pay attention to those wicks on all those dojis and where it was because
Yep.
Price was fighting that area. And that was that it was right above that area that we had marked out earlier that Jeremy and I were talking about. That Price broke through that was once resistance.
Yep.
And so it was coming back, and those candles are, we're still not up there yet, but those candles were saying, okay, we're going to stay above this. We're going to establish that as support now, which was also about the top of the candle at 1011, the green bar at 1011.
Exactamundo.
So, and then there's your Jeremy's like, we're going to get 380.91 at least, right? That big red candle. And then you really want to see it blow through that guy pretty strongly.
Yeah, if
Get
it's going
back
to
up to
remain
381.23.
if it's going to remain bullish, we do. But let's look
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
further left.
God, Jeremy, putting up that 5-second chart next to like the 1.515. you know, it really just lets you see that structure within the structure that you were trying to talk about.
Oh yeah, and it's like every bit of it's relevant. Like that wolf wave was just beautiful. Once we crossed it, bam, breakout.
Bam, breakout. I love it.
And now we're looking at the 15-minute chart. We still have an angular in play here, and actually I can adjust it. Let me go further. 30-minute. I might have to go to the 1 hour.
It's trying to break that channel.
This just comes down from our diamond pattern from way back, and it sets the one level there. You can also take, as if the chart wasn't dirty enough.
Hot nasty. Nasty.
This one I'm going to want to run with a...
How do you read that, man? That is
It
nasty.
is nasty as all hell, but
When you're drawing them, you can read it.
I'm drawing them on a 1 hour, 2 hour, 30-minute chart, all that stuff, and I'll go and zoom in to figure out where we're at. And it's just kind of building a roadmap.
That's what matters right there. See how we're really close in right there, and he's looking around. He's got all those lines. When you get in close like that, that's
Right.
where the feedback really is.
There's other crap that's making it dirty here. Like I got the TD sequence there. Let me turn that off.
But like Stone said, when you're the one drawing it, it's easier to see it.
Yes.
That's why the due diligence. I was talking to Stone. I was like, what about helping making it so you can do it for others? No, man, you got to do your own work. You gotta do the actual walking yourself, and that makes a lot of sense.
And I'll wipe this chart off later and get rid of all that stuff so I can draw some new stuff. But when you start getting so dirty that you can't see the price action, you got a problem. But draw them anyway, because it really gives you insight to where you can expect price to go. Like here we've got two possibilities here just in this short-term action here on a 1-minute chart. We've got a 50% retracement takes us right about here. That's about 381.45. Maybe make it 381.40. And it's just drawing a line off a control bar. That's only if we get past this guy. This was previous resistance. So if you were trading this pile of dojis here as if it was a reversal, which it's not. Usually this is a bear flag, but this happened to break above that wolf wave and it took off. That's why we had the wolf wave there. We knew there was going to be an inflection later on. But you start looking at this as if it was a reversal. Even though it took forever to break, it trades very similar to a double bottom. You've got your R1. You've got every target up the previous trend all the way to an angular. And if you watch my cursor, you can see that each one of these candles kind of lines up with a previous candle from the descending trend. All this on a 5-second chart. So when you want to start getting into day trading price action, doing this on the MES and the ES, that's your easy button. Finding all these control bars in a trend and knowing exactly when to take profit. When you see it resist one of these crossovers, just hold your cursor there. Get a horizontal line going. There's a gap right there, right? There's a big old bar right there. It refilled that gap. So when you see a reversal where you start to get a bearish candle that breaks that previous control bar from that gap retracement, that is your exit for a bull trade right there. And that is a pretty clean 3-pointer right there from the break to here. You can go 4 points from the wolf wave to here. Then you can wait for this to shake out, wait for the next setup. Push off of angular support here, bar down, buy this hammer, run it through the 8 period. This is a little bit sketchier of a trade. I probably wouldn't have taken that one, but it is tradable. Came back down, tested that support again, bounced again. That's the trade to take. Now we're setting up a little double top, coming back down, probably going to test 380.87, which it almost wicked to right here.
It's all making more sense now.
Good.
Just you get that practice on the short-term charts, and it starts to carry over to you're seeing the same price action on a 1-minute chart. You're seeing the same price action on a 5-minute chart. It just takes longer.
My favorite F word. Fractal.
Yep. There's a pile of dojis here again. Look at all the
Pile of
dojis.
dojis.
Pile of dojis. All right, I'm going to kick it off of YouTube. The porn bots have found us.
Bye, YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell.
Porn bots.
Yeah, buddy. We'll see you guys next time.